So last time we started the read volumes and we started configuring the read volume. So in read volume we have read means what? Redundant array of interconnected devices, where we can connect array of multiple devices to use as a single device for redundancy. The basic need of read is the redundancy. That means we use it for redundancy. Like if one disk goes down, we will still get the data. It is for high availability. That means if we lose the disk, we don't lose the data, and data will always be available for us. There are two types of RAID, like hardware controllers and software. Hardware RAIDs, like it always comes with the server machines. When you get the server machine, it built into the motherboard. The hardware RAID controller, it's a hardware piece of RAID where we can configure it. And software controller, software, that means we will configure it in the operating system, and the management of the RAID will be depending on the operating system. Operating system manages. Now software RAID works slow because it depends on operating system, managed by only the single processor, or it depends on the processor, like how much it is. And for hardware controller, like it is having a separate hardware for RAID, for managing only RAID, so it works fast. Then we have seen that there are different levels of RAID. Level 0 is a strip volume, where data will be stripped into multiple disks. It gives performance, like reading writing performance, but does not give you the redundancy. If you lose one of the disk, you lose the data. Then the other level is RAID level 1, where it is called mirror volume, where it do what? It copies the data into two disks simultaneously. When you lose one disk, still you will get the data from other disk. It will give the full redundancy but not give the performance like the RAID level 0. One more thing, it can only support 2 maximum disks. That means only 2 disks, you can combine 2 disks to create one RAID partition. Maximum 2 and minimum also 2. Then we have RAID level, we actually have RAID level 2, RAID level 3, RAID level 4, but normally we don't use those because those are same as this RAID level 5, but RAID level 5 is more redundant and useful, most used in common sense, like it is mostly used thing. The RAID level 2, 3, 4 are rarely used. RAID level 5 is actually strip volume with the parity bit. So strip volume give you the performance and parity bit give you the redundancy, where you can, if you are using 3, it supports minimum 3 disk. So in 3 disk, if you lose one disk, still you will get the data. Your data will not lost. Your data will still remain. Then RAID level 6 was also there. The 6 is also there. It is actually same as the 5, but it will give you dual redundancy. Like if you lose 2 disks, then still it can, data will be available, and for that minimum disk is 5. You have to configure minimum 5 disks for the RAID level 6. Now for configuring the RAID in our Linux, we will go with the steps. For first, add the required number of hard disk, because you are using separate disk, so that your data will be available. If one disk goes down, you should not configure it in a single disk, because if you configure in a single disk, you lose the data if you lose the disk. So we configure it in multiple disks. So connect whatever the number of disks you want, then create a equal size partition in those HD hard disk to use them. Now this is also a drawback in RAID. It suppose equal size. It supports equal size. The RAID support only equal size of hard disk or partition. Like if you want to use a hard disk, you will create a partition on those hard disk, and then we can use that. Now if you want to use it, so the equal size of partition it supports, it does not support unequal size. So create the equal size of partitions in those SDDs. Like if you want to create a red partition of, then we create 1 TB partition from. So creating the equal size partitions for using in a red, and then after that convert the partition. By default it creates the Linux normal Linux partition, so we convert that partitions type into Linux red, which is the code, or the code is FD. Then we create the red volume. The name for the red volume, this is the standard default name MD. 0 is for the first volume. If you create multiple volumes, then it will be like MD1, MD2, MD3 of required level by using the partition. Like whatever the level you want, you can use it. Then after creating it, creating the file system in red volume. After creating the red volume, we have to use it. For that we will create partition file system in that, and then we will mount it. And then after mounting it, we have to make it persistent mount, so that every time when our system restarts, the mount will be available, so that we will add it into fstab file. And before rebooting, we should verify it, so what our configuration in fstab is correct or not. So and we should do it before rebooting. So we did it like this. We added the disk, we converted into FD volume type, and then we created the red by using this mdadm command. I used level 5, and in that level 5 minimum requirement was 3, so I used 3 disks, and I used one spare disk for it. So spare disk, so that if one of the disk goes corrupt, then that spare disk can take place of that corrupted disk, and it will give me a small time so that I can replace the disk. Otherwise my red will be on bad mode, like it will be corrupted and it will not work. Like my red will fail, my data will be available if one disk goes down and 2 disk is active. My data will be available, but my red is on risk, and it is on risk because if one more disk goes down, then I will lose the data. So for that I put a spare disk, so that my red will be healthy and I will get a small time to recover. I get a small time to reconnect the other disk. To create this, we use the mdadm create command, and by using this we create this red volume md0. We decide the level like this, we decide how many disks we want to have in this red. Then I want to add a spare disk, so I have added that also, and then I mention all those name of those disks and those partitions. After creating, we can check the detail by using this command, and then we created the file system xfs. Then I mounted on this directory, and then for getting it for adding it in the fstab file, I get first the UUID, and then I open the file and added this into the fstab file. And then before restarting, I verify the mount by unmounting it first, and then by using mount -a command. So we did it. Now we are going to manage it. Managing red volume. Now managing red volume, that means how we can manage it. For managing, first to check red volume. So first we should know how we can check the red volume. So for checking the red volume, we have seen the command already, and that is this. So when we create the red volume, so we can check by using this detail command. Let's check that. Okay, so this is what this is mounted on this directory. It's a size of 2 GB. I use the RAID 5 volume, and we have one GB partition, 3 partitions, but the size we are getting, total size is what, 2 GB, because the 1 GB size is going for the parity. It uses one disk size as a parity, so it uses it as a parity, and we are not able to use that space. Now if I want to check the details, I will give mdadm command and minus minus detail, and then the name of our RAID partition. We have created md0. We could have created md1, md2, md3. Right now we have only one, and this is the detail of that. And what detail we have here? We have the version of the RAID, then we have a time for the creation when we created it. What is the level? We have RAID 5 level. The array size is what, 2 GB, because we are getting it 2 GB, and the one disk size is 1 GB. We are using 3 disks, so one disk is going for the parity, and we are having a space of 2 GB of 2 disks. Now total disk we are using 4. Total disk we are using 4, so 3 is active working 4, and 1 is for the spare. And the state of the RAID is now clean, because we are not having any problem. Here we can see which disk is active and which disk is in spare mode. So these 3 disks are working, like SDB, SDC, SDD, and SDE is on spare. Now if anything goes wrong happen to these disks, then automatically this disk will take place on those on this in this place of this disk, and will not use the data. We mounted in on this directory. I don't have any data there, so I will create some data there first. So I'll go to the directory R5, and I will create some data here. Let's do it with cat data.txt. This is to test RAID data. Now we have a data there, and our RAID is already working. Now if anything happen to these active disk, now if these happen, like if the disk goes down or something, now here it is not going to be down because it is working properly. So we are not able to see the problem here, but I can make any of these disks as a faulty. We have an option to mark any of these disks as a faulty. Now why we have this option to mark a disk as a faulty? Sometime we want to change some disk, like these disks are working properly, but suppose I want to change some disk. I want to remove this disk from here, SDC1, and I want to add some other disk here. Maybe I'm feeling like this disk is not good, or it is a old disk, and maybe it is very soon it is going to be down. So because before it is going to down, I want to remove this disk from here. So what we can do, we cannot directly remove it. We will do what? We will first make this disk as a faulty, and then we can remove it. So it works like the same, like it is automatically goes corrupt, or I make it corrupt. So I can make any of the active disk as a faulty, so that I can remove it. Now when I set a disk on faulty, then what happened? Because of the spare disk we have, this spare disk will automatically take place of that faulty disk, and the faulty disk will come here as a faulty disk. Then we can remove that faulty disk, and then we can add another disk. So we can do what? We can make a disk as a faulty. So we can set a disk as a faulty. Now why? To change the disk. So sometime we want to change the disk. So what we do? we set them as a faulty, and then we can remove them. Now to set them as a faulty, what we will do, we will use the command mdadm again. mdadm and then hyphen capital F dev sdc1, and then from md0. Oops. Let me check again. Detail. Okay, SDC1. So I will make mdadm from md0 SDC1. I think we are having a problem here. So to set the disk as a faulty, to change the disk, so whenever we want to change the disk, we can set the disk as a faulty and then we can remove it. So for that, what we can do, we will use mdadm command and small f. I was using capital F and that was wrong. It is a small f to set a disk as a faulty. Then you will mention the disk name. Like I want to mention this disk as a faulty SDC, which is working as an active disk, and this disk is a spare disk SDE1. So what happened when I make it faulty, this SDE will take in place of this SDC. Now from MD0, that is our read volume. Now when you do this, wait a second, first you will mention the read volume, then you will mention the partition which you want to make as a faulty. Now it is saying that set SDC1 faulty in MD0, and when you check the detail, so now we can see this SDE is on the place of SDC, and SDC1 is now setting as a faulty. So it is marked as a faulty and now it is not using it, and the spare disk, now spare disk is in this place. And if we check, the partition is still mounted, the partition is still, the read partition is still mounted, and we can check the data, or we can see the data under the directory. We can still see the data and we can read the data. So the data is still available. We only have what? We have one disk faulty. But now because of the spare disk, we are still having a disk available, and our read is still working as a clean. So it is not working as a faulty, it is still working as a clean because of the spare disk. If the spare disk was not there, then we will see our data, our read is corrupt, not well, because we have only two disk active, and we have one disk as a faulty. So our disk, our read will be will be on the risk, but still we will get the data. Now if we have a faulty disk, now it was not really faulty, it was I set on this disk as a faulty, it was not really faulty. I want to just remove the disk, so I set the disk as a faulty. Now I can remove it. Now for removing it, I will do what? I will use mdadm-r for remove, and then from the md0 I want to remove dev sdc1, that one which is already on faulty. So when I click enter, then what? It will remove the disk from read array. And now when you check, now you have only 3 active disks and no spare, no faulty disk, and your RAID is working clean, no problem. So what we do here, if we want to remove it, then we will use this command to remove it with -f option. It's a small f, so we use this to remove it. To set as a faulty. Now after setting it as a faulty, then to remove disk from RAID array, which is faulty. So what we do, the command is actually same, the option is change, it will become R. Now when I removed it, now I want to add the new disk. New disk, that means the another disk I want to add. I have removed it now. Now I have added new disk, which is okay and which is good, and now I want to add that disk here. Now when I add this disk here, when I add the new disk here, then what happen, it will remain in spare, because we have a provision for having one spare disk. So it will remain in the spare because we have already 3 disks are running. So the disk which we add now, it will remain as a spare, and if any of these disks goes down, then that disk will take place. So it will remain in spare until we add the new disk. Let's say I want to add the new disk here. Now adding a new disk, now this disk was not corrupted, it was okay, I was just remove the disk, so I will add the same disk here. Otherwise I can create a new disk, I will add the new disk, then I create a partition, then I convert the partition type into Linux RAID, then I will add the disk here. But because the disk is okay, this SDC1, so I just removed it for the test purpose, so I will add the same disk here because it is okay. For adding it, we just change the option F to A to add the disk, and now it says what, it is adding the disk into our RAID. And now when you check the detail, now you can see it is remain in the spare, it remains in the spare and waiting for the disk to corrupt, and if the other disk goes down, any one of the disk, then it will take place of that disk. And our RAID is working, it is clean, and we are still getting the data. So for adding the new disk, to add new disk in a RAID array, now to adding the new disk, first you have to do what, you have to add HDD and create partition in it, with system ID FD. Now after doing that, you can add the disk. And for adding MDADM -A, and then you will mention the RAID volume, and then you will mention the new partition which you added. Let's say SDF1. So this is how we can add the new disk in our existing RAID, and it will remain in the spare. Now, as I said, if any of this disk goes down, then this disk will take place, but still our RAID will be okay and it will be running as a clean state. Now I will do what? I will remove one of the disk first. So what I will do, I will make this disk faulty first. Let's say I want to make SDB1, this one, as a faulty. So I will set it as a faulty here. Now it is a faulty disk. Now when you check the detail, now you can see it is, this one is on faulty, and because I quickly check the detail, now you can see it is rebuilding from the spare. That SDC was on spare, now it is rebuilding and creating and trying to adding into the active disk. And now again when I check the detail, it will be okay. And if you see here, what is the state? It is saying clean but degraded and recovery. Because it is recovering, because it is rebuilding the RAID into this by using the parity. So that is why it is saying that, and it is saying here the rebuild status was 73%. Now remember, this size of the partitions are very small. They are just 1 GB, and they are not having a data. They are not having much data also. But if you are having a big data and you are having a big partition, big hard disk in a real environment which is working, then it may take a time, and it will take some time to rebuild the data and reconnect the spare disk into RAID. But still you will get the data, your data will be working, because still it will be considered as a clean, because your two disks are still running, and the third one is adding. Now again when I check the detail, now it is okay, everything is okay, these three disks are okay and it is working, and you can see now the state is clean. Now what I will do, I will remove the faulty first. I will remove this faulty one. Now we are not having any spare disk. Now let's assume we created the RAID without any spare, and at that time when we lose any disk, now I will make one more disk as a faulty, and let's do this for SDD1. Now this one I will make faulty by using F option. Now we are not having three disks for RAID 5. Now when you check the detail, now you see it is saying removed and the one disk is faulty, and now we are having only two disks active. Now what is the problem here? We can say the state is still clean, but it is degraded because it is now working on only two disks, and anything happen to these two disks, we will lose the data. Now still we are not losing the data. If we check the data which we created on the partition in that directory, this directory, and the data is this, is still, if you check the data is still available, it is still readable, because it is still available, because in RAID 5 it can afford one disk failure. Now if I remove, now first I will remove this one from the RAID, SDD1, I will remove this. Okay, now we are not having any other disk, we are having only two disks active. Now we are having only two disks active, and it is still saying that one is removed because the one should be used, because minimum is 3, but still we are having a clean state and we are still getting the data. Now I'm going to corrupt one more disk from this RAID. Remember, this RAID 5 needs at least two disks working from those three disks, and it can only support one failure. So what happens if I fail one more disk? There is a chances of losing the data, and we can lose the data here. Now see what happens exactly when I make faulty one more disk. Now I will make faulty this SDC1. SDC1. Now we lose one more disk, and now we are having only one disk running. Now let's check what happened to the detail. And now what happened here is we are having two disk removed and we have only one disk running, and this one is faulty. I will remove it first. Remove this completely. Now we don't have any other disk. Now we have only one disk active and two disk is now missing, and they are removed. Now what is the state here? The state is saying clean and failed. Now what is the meaning of clean? Now the meaning of clean is, if I check the data, is it available? The data is still available, and I can check the data, and if I can see the partition is mounted and it is still mounted and it is still working and the data is still available. Now the thing is, like in RAID 5 you can only afford one failure, but here we have two failures, but still we are having a data. Now what is the point here? The point is the level which we are using. We are using RAID level 5. Remember the image here. I said RAID level 5 do what? It stores the parity in multiple disks. That is why mostly people use RAID level 5. RAID level 4 and 3 is also same, but they don't do like this. In this RAID level 5 you can see the parities are stored in every disk of the array, and the data is also stored in every disk of the array. So you can see here the one disk also having a data, a parity, the second disk also having a parity, third disk also having a parity, fourth disk is also having a parity, and that is why we can still afford two disk failure and still we get the data. Now the point is what? The data, how much data we have. Actually the data which we have in our partition is only is a byte. It's only one line data, and it is just a byte of data, so it is available. But if you are having a lots of data, like more than one disk, data of more than one disk, then you can lose the data and your disk will not be available. So basically we are not having a data, we are not having too much data here, we are just having one file here, one text file with only one line. So it can be available, but if you are losing the data, if you are having a data in 2 GB partition of RAID, you are having a data of 1.5 GB, then you will definitely lose the data when you lose two disks. So and that is why we mostly people use what? This RAID level 5, because still if you have some less data, then still it can be available if you lose two disks. And that is the benefit of this RAID level 5. The benefit is very simple. It stores the data and parity in every disk, but remember it does not it only stores the parity in the equal size of the disk. Like if you are using the array size is 1 GB, if your array size is 1 GB, then it will use 1 GB as a parity. Array size is what? 1 GB here. Now why it is saying 1 GB? Because every disk of your partition, every disk of your array is 1 GB size. Whether you are using 3 disk or 4 disk or all 5 disk, the all disk size is what? 1 GB. So that is why the array size is 1 GB, and that is why it is actually the RAID supports only same size of hard disk. You cannot use different size of hard disk. So this is what a RAID volume. So we have seen how we can create the RAID and also how we can manage the RAID.